Right now on News 4 at 10, a new heroin mixture. Could it be making its way to this area? And where emergency workers are already seeing it nearby.
And after a mostly dry week across western New York, we do have a few showers getting into the weekend. We'll time that out and let you know when we'll see 70s coming up in your forewarned forecast.
And give it up for the new Buffalo Bills manager. Hear from Brandon Beane and his plan for the team next. We begin with a news story at 10 developing in Buffalo tonight. Sources tell me a man is in surgery after being shot, and police just told us the man in his 20s is in critical condition. It happened around 7 o'clock tonight near Stevens and Northland Avenue. This is what the scene looked like when we got there. Police haven't said anything about a possible suspect. We will bring you more information on TV and, of course, on our social media pages when we get it.
I think the first responders with the all-time record was a patient who required 13 doses of naloxone.
Now to our other big story tonight. Erie County officials are warning people about a new batch of heroin. It could prevent life-saving drugs like Narcan and naloxone from working. Some first responders in the Rochester area say they've seen cases where it's taken 6 doses of the usual Narcan amount to save someone's life. News 4's Rachel Monjovi joins us live with more on this new mixture. Rachel?
Yeah, Nalina, the Erie County Medical Examiner's Office says the heroin epidemic is killing more people than ever. With this new synthetic drug, that number could increase, especially if the life-saving overdose drug doesn't work.
This acrofentanyl is a fentanyl derivative, and unfortunately, it is a very, very potent fentanyl derivative.
The Erie County Department of Health is on high alert for a possible deadly drug.
HIDA had sent us an email to alert us that this product was close to us, geographically close to us.
A strain of fentanyl is being laced with heroin, and the result is so strong, patients may not be able to respond to the life-saving overdose drug Narcan.
This is very concerning that people may not respond to the naloxone when they're out in the field being resuscitated by a first responder.
This new synthetic drug has been linked to 44 deaths in Chicago and Pittsburgh. Although there's no confirmation of it in western New York, emergency workers in Rochester have already seen it.
I've already seen where that some individuals need multiple doses of naloxone and to be able to wake up and breathe again. I think the first responders with the all-time record was a patient who required 13 doses of naloxone.
Health Commissioner Dr. Gail Burstein says she fears someone would need more doses of Narcan than what a first responder normally carries. She's sending a message to the county to be careful about this drug that could hit the Queen City.
We just want to encourage Erie County residents just to think twice about what they're using.
Now, there is a new product out there, another form of Narcan. It's a Narcan nasal spray already assembled. It has double the dose of the original product. Erie County officials are recommending people to use that. Reporting live, Rachel Monjovi, News 4 at 10.
Rachel, thank you. Also new at 10, many of you called our newsroom about this car crash on Niagara Falls Boulevard. It's near Ted's Hot Dogs. The crash happened at 5 tonight. Amherst police say a 30-year-old woman and 46-year-old woman collided. We're told a child in one of the cars was taken to Women and Children's Hospital with a non-life-threatening injury. The crash is being investigated, and anyone who may have witnessed it is asked to call Amherst police at this number, 689-1311. In Genesee County, an investigation is underway following a deadly 3-car crash. Happened after 11 o'clock this morning on Route 63 in the town of Bethany. Now, authorities say a car driven by 67-year-old Gerald Macon crossed the center line, crashing into a pickup truck. That truck slammed into another pickup, which was parked on the side of the road. No one was in that truck, but Macon died at the scene. The undersheriff says they are now trying to figure out what caused him to swerve.
Several cars go through this area every day. I mean, we do have some serious accidents that do occur here, but most of the traffic can make it through this curve with no issues, so I don't think it has anything to do with the road at this point.
3 other people were taken to the hospital with unknown injuries. Right now, it does not appear that drugs or alcohol played a role in this crash.
Can't wait to get started. My sole focus is to jump right in as soon as we get done with this press conference.
Buffalo Bills have a new general manager. The team introduced Brandon Beane officially for the first time today. Beane says he is ready to get to work with the team. Sports director Josh Reed and our own Tom Martin are in Orchard Park with more on who Beane is and what he plans to bring to the team.
The 13th general manager in Buffalo Bills history, and for Brandon Beane's sake, and quite frankly for everyone's sake, let's hope it's a lucky number 13.
Yep.
But hearing him speak today and hearing Sean McDermott over the past several weeks, these two guys are definitely preaching and singing from the same hymnal.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice to hear it because these two spent 6 seasons in Carolina. They have the same kind of makeup, and as far as how they've advanced to this point where they are now, they've been to a Super Bowl together. They've had some adversity together with that team. You want collaboration here. It sounds like we're finally getting it. Now, you have to go out and win some games in this field, too. But at this point, it's a great foundation, and Buffalo is certainly where Brandon Beane wants to be after 19 years in Carolina.
I went through the interview process with the Pagulas, and I had never met them, and so that's the first thing you do. You're trying to figure out, all right, who's the owners, who's leading this ship, and I was blown away. And you go into something, you're kind of like, I don't know what it's going to be like. When I left the interview, I wanted to be a Buffalo Bill.
And I found it interesting and refreshing that at the end, when everything was done, the press conference was done, a couple hours later, Brandon Beane came back in the media room just to kind of chat. We were talking about golf, and it was kind of nice just to get him off the cuff just to talk a little bit.
Yeah, it was nice for him to do, and it was funny because we had one reporter who was just kind of teasing him. I think he goes, you know what, Brandon, the advice here, just win. And Brandon looks him dead in the eye and goes, we're going to work our tails off and try and do it.
And you know they will.
For sure, it sounds everything we've heard to this point is good. Now, here comes the fun.
Well, as you said earlier, just win. Just win, and it takes care of all of it. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you so much. News 4 Sports' Shannon Shepard will have much more on the new GM coming up in sports. You can also find more details on our website, WIVB.com. Turning to the forecast, before we talk to Andrew, look at this. This is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. A tornado was caught on camera as it ripped through the area this morning. Now the cleanup process is underway. Video captures all of the destruction left behind from the storm. Cars were toppled over and ripped apart, and debris flew everywhere. Thankfully, there were no reported injuries. Usually, Andrew, I'd say thankfully here we're only dealing with rain, but I know some people along the Lake Ontario shoreline do not want any more rain.
No more rain. And thankfully, we've had a mostly dry week. However, that hasn't really helped. I mean, helped a little bit, at least along Lake Ontario, but the levels continue to rise. And here's the latest data from the Army Corps of Engineers. And you can see on the blue line there, the lake levels continuing to rise despite the lack of rainfall. Several more inches from this point last week, right now up to 248.71 feet. And that is several feet above where it should be. 28 inches above our long-term average, and about a foot, a little over a foot and a third above the all-time record so far, or rather a few inches above the all-time record. Here's a look at the satellite and radar. We do have a few scattered showers popping up, but nothing too widespread. Most of that north and west of the metro area, a few light rain showers into Niagara Falls at the moment. As you look to the south, a big developing storm system, a lot of rain that's going to be crawling up the eastern seaboard, Philadelphia to New York City tomorrow, and toward the Boston area, coastal New England, getting into your Mother's Day Sunday. So if you are going to be doing any traveling this weekend along the eastern seaboard, that might slow you down just a little bit. Here in western New York, minimal impacts. We'll see a few scattered showers tonight, and then a little more widespread light rain developing by tomorrow morning. You might need an umbrella if you're heading off to breakfast, but it will be an off and on rain type of day Saturday, maybe even some breaks of sunshine getting into the afternoon. Certainly not a washout. Mostly cloudy tonight with a few evening showers and more developing overnight. Temperatures stay in the 40s. Tomorrow, a rather cloudy day with off and on showers. Maybe some breaks of sunshine getting into the afternoon. Temperatures mid and upper 50s. Coming up in your full forewarned forecast, we'll talk about your Mother's Day Sunday and what to expect next week. Here's a hint, 70s, maybe even 80s.
All right, Andrew, thank you. Up next, a massive cyber attack, one like experts say we've never seen. How to protect your files.